With growing uncertainties in the global economy, vis-a-vis Zimbabwe's aim of reaching an upper middle income economy status by 2030, it makes all the difference where you place your money. On this show, we explore a wide bouquet of investment opportunities. We also give you tidbits on how you can maximize your returns. This is Bang for Buck with Equity Access. I'm Eben Mabunda. Let's get started. Have you ever wondered how some people have managed to create fast wealth through the stock market, investment in properties, and other interest-generating investments? It sounds a little like rocket science and somewhat intimidating, right? Far from it. I'll show you why in just a moment. Let's draw out one or two lessons from a couple of investors, starting with the legend Warren Buffett of Berkshire Hathaway in the United States of America, or to bring it closer, the Zimbabwean multimillionaire Shingamutasa, who through his investment vehicle Masawara has investments spread across financial services, tech, hospitality, and real estate, among others. Over the years, these have made fortunes through stocks, commodities, properties, and other entrepreneurial pursuits. Good news is, anyone with the right amount of information can pretty much follow in their footsteps. To pound it home, anyone, yes, anyone. Ever worried about your life post your working years? Perhaps how you would make ends meet? What about your medical bills in the event of an illness, or even the academic welfare of your children? These are questions that course through the minds of many, demanding dollar-denominated answers. The real challenge is on how to manage your existing income given the limited resources at your disposal, future uncertainties, and the need to maintain a modest lifestyle. Your existing income has to be spread between your current and future needs. This means some of your income should be consumed, some saved, and the other invested.
Convenience in many ways on one platform. Welcome to my
own mutualist rate.
Insurance, investments, just in the banking.
My own mutualist rate.
USSD, WhatsApp, okay, Konapo.
My own mutualist rate.
Insurance, investments, just in the banking.
My own mutualist rate.
USSD, WhatsApp, okay, Konapo.
My own mutualist rate.
Waba kukwanisa kuwa na services Old Mutual anosanganisira insurance, investment, ne banking all on one platform.
So now, let me dazzle you with some stats. The Equity Touch, and here we go. Stats show Zimbabweans have generally increased their uptake of financial products over the last decade, particularly in the second half thereof. RBZ data shows the average number of bank accounts now stands at 8.6 million from 1.5 million in 2016, a growth of 473%. The figures also suggest more than 80% of the Zim adult population owns a bank account. Notably, mobile money uptake has helped spur the growth of financial inclusion. Stats also show about 15 million mobile money accounts were active as of 2020, up from 2 million in 2013. The total is almost the equivalent of the entire population of Zimbabwe. But of course, some have operated more than one mobile money account. Smartphone penetration is, however, still low at a figure of 55% of the entire population, while the uptake of insurance products remains very much in the doldrums at a mere 18%. On Bang for Buck, we seek to help you achieve optimum results with your income. We will also kickstart with the ABCs of financial inclusion as we seek to help you become financially savvy. So join us on this exhilarating journey as we explore the various aspects of investing, the preservation of income, and the leveraging of financial systems to unlock financial freedom. Simply put, we're here to help you figure out how to make a dollar out of 15 cents. On this segment of the show, Ntando Nsikane takes you through the various investment options that are at your disposal. Let's take a listen.
So I will take you through the financial journey of Gamu, a 29-year-old Zimbabwean, and how she achieved financial growth. After finishing college with top grades, Gamu did not get a job as she had imagined. So a year onwards, her uncle in the diaspora decided to fund what she termed a side hustle while she was hoping for a job. Gamu's side hustle was that of selling imported goods from China, and she began making higher profits over time. A friend of hers advised her on how she could make more money through investing on the stock market. She was initially skeptical because of the pyramid schemes in Zimbabwe and decided to commit just a portion of her funds. For risk consideration, she somewhat opted to buy stocks through the unit trusts, which Old Mutual offered. The unit trust represent a combination of underlying shares in different companies pulled together and managed by the asset manager. Soon the unit trust began to rise in value in line with the growth of shares on the stock market. After 2 years, her portfolio had grown phenomenally by over 1,000%. This growth was, however, discounted because inflation was high during the period. When netted out for inflation, her return was over 600%, which means a dollar investment she had made 2 years ago had grown over 6 times. Isn't that a plus? A $10,000 investment had grown to $60,000. There are various types of investment assets which those seeking to preserve capital and those seeking growth can acquire. I'll take you through them. We have stocks. Stocks, also known as shares or equities, may be the most well-known and simple type of investment. When you buy stocks, you are buying an ownership stake in a publicly traded company. Many of the biggest companies in the country, think of Delta, Econet, and Insco, are publicly traded, meaning you can buy stocks in them. Then we have bonds. When you buy a bond, you're essentially lending money to an entity. Generally, this is a business or a government entity. Companies issue corporate bonds, whereas local government issue municipal bonds. The Zimbabwe Treasury issues treasury bond notes and bills, all of which are debt instruments that investors buy. Then we have unit trusts. A unit trust is a pool of many investors' money that is invested broadly in a number of companies. Unit trust can be actively managed or passively managed. An actively managed fund has a fund manager who picks securities in which to put investors' money. Then we have exchange-traded funds, ETFs. They are similar to unit trust in that they are a collection of investments that tracks a market index. Unlike unit trusts, which are purchased through a fund company, shares of ETFs are bought and sold on the stock market. In Zimbabwe, only Old Mutual has an ETF listed on the ZSE. It was introduced at the beginning of 2021 and has since doubled in value. Then we have certificates of deposit. It's a very low risk investment. You give a bank a certain amount of money for a predetermined amount of time. When that time period is over, you get your principal back plus a predetermined amount of interest. The longer the loan period, the longer your interest rate. Then we have retirement plans. There are a number of types of retirement plans. Workplace retirement plans sponsored by your employer. If you don't have access to a retirement plan, you could get an individual retirement plan, or either the traditional or the Roth variety. Then we have options. An option is somewhat more complicated way to buy a stock. When you buy an option, you're purchasing the ability to buy or sell an asset at a certain price at a given time. There are two types of options. We have call options for buying assets and put options for selling options. Then we have annuities. Many people use annuities as part of their retirement savings plan. When you buy an annuity, you purchase an insurance policy and in return, you get periodic payments. Then we have cryptocurrencies. I'm sure you're all familiar with these. Cryptocurrencies are fairly new investment option. Bitcoin is the most famous cryptocurrency, but there are other countless cryptocurrencies such as Litecoin, Ethereum, and lately the Elon Musk hyped Dogecoin. Then we have commodities. Commodities are a physical product that you can invest in. They are common in future markets where producers and commercial buyers, in other words, professionals, seek to hedge their financial stake in commodities. The bottom line is there are lots of investments you can choose from. Some are perfect for beginners, whilst others require more experience. Each type of investment offers a different level of risk and reward. Investors should consider each type of investment before determining an asset allocation that aligns with their goals.
Convenience in many ways on one platform. Welcome to mine.
My old mutual is great.
Insurance, investments, just on the banking.
My old mutual is great.
USSD, WhatsApp, okay, konapo.
My old mutual is great.
Insurance, investments, just on the banking.
My old mutual is great.
USSD, WhatsApp, okay, konapo.
My old mutual is great.
waba kukwanisa kuwa na maservices e-Old Mutual anosanganisira insurance, investment ne-banking all on one platform. Usebenzisa i-password eyodwa ku-WhatsApp le-USSD. Chaya *227# kumbe ukuthumela i-WhatsApp ku-0777 227
Now, in this very segment, we are joined online for a conversation with the head of investor education at the Securities and Exchange Commission. Farai, good day, and thank you for joining us on this maiden edition of Bank for Buck.
Wonderful, congratulations, and it's great to be here.
Fantastic. Just to sort of cut to the chase, given the economic turbulence that has gripped Zimbabwe in recent times, can you talk to us with regards to the importance of investing despite the headwinds?
Thank you so much, Eben. And turbulence is actually a great environment for investing. It may appear to be somewhat of a contradiction, but if we look at the trends on our main bourse, for example, and if we also look at the trends for those who are experiencing the C-Trade platform using their mobile devices, and those who are also invested in unit trusts, which we'll speak a little bit more about, you will discover if you interview them that they're actually having quite a great experience in terms of returns at the moment. They are ahead of inflation, they are ahead of the US dollar, and they are delighted. So I would say, going back to the basics, what is investment about? Investment is about saving. Investment is about the discipline of putting money away consistently in a good vehicle, which we'll talk a little bit more about, and ensuring that one has clear goals, something which one is driving towards, which one plans to attain sometime in the future. So these are great times, Eben, but that is not to remove the fact that we are a nation gripped by a pandemic. It has been very difficult for very many people, and we remember them even as we are having discussions such as these, Eben.
Interesting point you raised there, ahead of inflation and ahead of the dollar. Where can one start in as far as the investment terrain of Zimbabwe is concerned?
The starting point is simple when we understand that economies are not built by nameless, faceless people from outer space. They are built by individuals, dollar by dollar, week by week. So to build this economy, to develop this economy, it's up to you and I, it's up to the ordinary Zimbabwean. And how they participate is by understanding what their options are. Many are familiar with the financial system where you take a certain amount of money or retain it in a bank and it grows bit by dint of the interest that you enjoy on that deposit in the money market primarily. However, as a regulator of the capital markets, where we would like and encourage Zimbabweans to place their money is to deploy it productively. That's what savings do. That's what putting money aside from everyday consumption does. It means that you and I are participating in deploying money, making money available to industry, to the productive sector. So if you earn, for example, $10 in a month, figure out where your costs are. What is it you need to pay for? What remains is what usually people put away. Over time, we encourage an ordinary person to flip that and say, what is it I want to put away? And the rest of my life must be squeezed into what remains. So the basics are the discipline of putting money away. Secondly, knowing where to go.
Right.
Where do I invest? With whom? Yes, Eben.
Right there. You were just getting on to the next point to say, where then can, after squeezing, as you rightly pointed out, where then do I put that money?
Yes, so at entry level, if you like, you can manage the whole process by yourself. With the phone that you have, you can download an app for two of what we call SMIs, securities market intermediaries, people, entities that we regulate. And these two, I'll name them C-Trade and ZSE Direct, enable a person to invest from their device and be direct participants on the stock market and to acquire unit trust on the C-Trade platform. Unit trust are basically instruments which you can invest in where you are saying, I'm not proficient, I am not well versed, I am not well informed in terms of investment. However, I know that I want to save, I know that I want to invest, I need an expert to do it for me. So you will then invest your money, make your money available in a pool of funds with other people who feel the same way. These funds are placed in the capable, qualified hands of a fund manager who then invests in the various unit trust products in a collective investment scheme on your behalf. You are then able to track the performance of your investment using what is now a monthly publication in the local newspaper, where the fund managers who are participating come together and say, we want those who are investing with us to know how the investment is performing, how the unit trust is performing. And here we are publishing alongside each other so that the investors can actually do a comparison of performance based on how their fund manager is doing against other fund managers. That is unit trusts. The next level is to say, I think I'm a bit more informed. I think I know how to do this. So they would need to open an account with a stockbroker, again, registered, supervised, with us providing surveillance as a commission, so that your choices are safe and they are compliant with the laws of the land. Go to stockbroker, register, discuss your expectations, your investment goals, your fears, your hopes, your aspirations. Discuss past performance. These questions will force your stockbroker to perform in a way that is consistent with what you are looking for. At the commission, we provide the education that you need to understand this investment game. We have two roles as a commission: to supervise and license and regulate the SMIs, the securities market intermediaries, the companies that perform this role and the individuals. But also we have a related role to protect the investor. And the best way of protecting them is, of course, through compensation when things go wrong, but more importantly, through education. Our website provides all the information you need, as do our social media platforms, Eben.
The writing is very well on the wall. Farai Mpofu, the head of investor education at the Securities and Exchange Commission. Farai, thank you, and we do look forward to having you on the program again.
Happy to be here at Bang for Your Buck.
It's a wrap from the Bank for Buck team with Equity Access. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and to visit our informative website, www.equityaccess.net, to stay attuned to the details as to when we'll be having the next edition of this very show. From the Equity Access team and I, Danke, until next time, ciao.
This show is proudly sponsored by Old Mutual.